Welcome to another AP Human Geography topic walkthrough, brought to you by Mr. Michael, Social Studies teacher. This video is here to help you fill out your lecture notes, understand the big ideas, and maybe even laugh once or twice. So grab your notes and let's get started.
Yo, ever wonder what happens when cultures collide like it's the season finale of a reality show? Today we're diving into the effects of cultural diffusion. And trust me, it's more than just fusion food and language mashups. We're talking about the glow up and the glow down of culture through acculturation, assimilation, syncretism, and multiculturalism. Spoiler alert, some of it's chill, and some of it's giving villain origin story. Before we start throwing around big terms like syncretism like it's vocab word Jeopardy, let's check out what you actually need to know for this unit. Alright, here's the mission for today's cultural adventure. Figure out how diffusion changes the cultural landscape. And no, we're not just talking about food courts and funky street signs. We're talking deep shifts. How languages evolve, how traditions remix, and how cultures blend or battle it out on the global stage. You'll be flexing your brain power around four major effects: acculturation, assimilation, syncretism, and multiculturalism. Think of them like the core four in a Netflix drama, each with their own origin story and plot twist. Speaking of which, up first is acculturation, the chill older sibling who knows how to adapt without losing their roots. Let's get into it. Acculturation is what happens when cultures hang out long enough that they start rubbing off on each other, like when your playlist starts picking up your best friend's favorite songs. It's all about adopting a few traits from another culture without dropping your own identity. In the example here, imagine a Guatemalan immigrant who speaks Spanish at home but switches to English at school or work. That's acculturation in action, a cultural remix, not a full reboot. If you check the background, you've got tacos, Asian signs, halal carts, and a smiling sun repping Buenos Dias. That's literally the multicultural vibe that comes from this process. Same street, different flavors. But what happens when one culture doesn't just blend? It disappears. That's when acculturation levels up, or maybe levels down, into something much more intense. Let's talk assimilation. Assimilation is when acculturation stops being a remix and becomes a full-on culture swap. One group doesn't just borrow traits, they ditch their OG identity and fully adopt another culture. Sometimes it's a personal choice. Other times, it's straight up forced. Take the example of Native American boarding schools. Students were stripped of their traditions, forced to cut their hair, change their clothes, speak English, and even accept new names. As shown in the black and white before and after pics, the transformation wasn't just physical, it was cultural. The goal was to erase their native identities and Americanize them. And yeah, that's as dark as it sounds. Richard Henry Pratt, the head of the Carlisle Indian School, had one goal: kill the Indian in him and save the man. That quote hits hard, and it shows how assimilation can be used as a tool of power and control, not just cultural change. But not every cultural interaction ends in loss. Some create space for everyone to show up and shine. Let's talk multiculturalism. Multiculturalism is what happens when cultures live side by side and actually vibe with each other instead of clashing. It's about openness, acceptance, and embracing diversity without expecting anyone to fully blend in or change who they are. Canada made this official in 1971, basically saying, yeah, you can keep your culture and still be a full citizen. That policy turned Canada into one of the strongest examples of multiculturalism, where multiple identities can coexist without getting erased. And that quote on the slide? Pure poetic heat from Jimmy Carter. He said it best: we're not just melting everything into one big blob, building a mosaic, piece by piece. This kind of cultural harmony is ideal, but sometimes when cultures mix, they don't just live next to each other. They actually merge into something totally new. That's where syncretism comes in. Syncretism is when cultures don't just borrow from each other, they blend into something entirely new. Think of it like the cultural version of a crossover episode where different traditions collide and a brand new vibe is born. This can happen through conquest, colonization, immigration, or even marriage. But one of the most common and powerful bond forms is religious syncretism. Case in point, Santeria. Born in Cuba, this belief system mixes African Yoruban religion with Roman Catholicism, a fusion that came out of the transatlantic slave trade. The images show how this blend lives on. On the top, there's an altar filled with orikas, deities from Yoruban traditions. Down below, you've got Catholic saints displayed in a botanica, where followers shop for sacred supplies. Syncretism is proof that culture doesn't just survive contact. Sometimes, it creates something entirely unique. You've now seen how diffusion can shift, shape, and sometimes even reinvent culture. Time to pull it all together before the final brainbuster. You just made it through the ultimate glow-up guide to cultural change. We covered how diffusion can lead to acculturation, when cultures swap vibes but still keep their core. Then we saw how assimilation takes it further, sometimes erasing identities completely. Multiculturalism reminded us that peaceful coexistence isn't just possible, it's kind of the goal. And syncretism? That's where new cultures get born, remix style, from old ones. That meme baby knows what's up, because it's time to test your brain power with one last challenge. Bring the receipts, because this one's all about thinking big. Here's your final boss question. How can syncretism and multiculturalism both lead to cultural preservation and cultural change at the same time? Use examples from the lesson, like Santeria, Canadian multiculturalism, or anything else we covered, to explain your thinking. Drop your answer in the comments and back it up with examples. And don't forget to put your name in there. That bonus point isn't going to earn itself. Catch you on the next one. Until then, stay curious and culturally aware.